Hello ladies and gents, this is TheEnder, and this is going to be set 1 of the player Ximp, or possibly it's pronounced Ximp, versus our human player Bakuryu. Let's jump right into the game. Once again, this is the man versus machine AI competition. Alright. So here we are, spawning in the bottom right position. We have Bakuryu as the orange Zerg player. And in the bottom left position, we have our brown Protoss, Ximp. So the map is going to be circuit breakers. So if we take a quick look at the map. Alright. So if you start at Bakuryu's base, got a natural expansion, a double bridge, high ground right by his third, and it's a mirror on the other side. Alright, so let's see what Ximp is going to pull out. First pylon on the low ground, and he's following it up with a probe scout. Unfortunately for him, his probe is going to be heading in the wrong direction. But it looks like Bakuryu's scouting overlord is not going to be any better. It's also scouting. Appears towards the middle of the map. Perhaps he's expecting some proxy action. Alright, Forge going down for Ximp. With that Forge, he's going to be able to get photon cannons out for early game defense. And looks like Bakuryu's going in to start with a drone scout, since his overlord is not seeing anything. And behind that, he's going to take his natural expansion, put down a hatchery. Alright. So neither of these players going for any type of aggressiveness yet. And, yeah. So having ruled out the upper left position, Ximp is going to be scouting the upper right position, and he's going to run into Bakuryu's scouting worker. Both of them figuring out their opponents are not going to be in this position. At the front of Ximp's base, we have the double cannon, which will defend against any possible Zergling attacks. Spawning pool isn't done yet, so we won't actually need the cannons for a while. He probably could have gotten away safely just by putting down one cannon now and saving the minerals for whatever he is playing for the rest of the game. But, you know, 2 cannons, extra safe, and he didn't scout his opponent, so it's understandable that he was slightly worried and wanted to get that defense out there. Alright, so Ximp's probe is going to finally get into Bakuryu's base. He's going to see the gas timing, he's going to see the pool being completed and the larva being saved up, and he's going to begin some drone harass. Alright, the pool finishes and immediately we have 6 Zerglings being morphed for Bakuryu. Now this is surprising. On the other side, Ximp, instead of going for the Nexus that you would normally see to follow up with the Forge Fast Expand, he's got a Gateway first. Alright, there's the Nexus. So let's see what he is planning. On the other side, Bakuryu has taken third base, and his initial Zerglings are going to chase away the scouting worker. Oh, and it just barely escapes her with his life. Let's see if he can escape. Uh-oh, Pro gets stuck. Probe is taken out, and Zergling gets the kill. So they're going to head over to Ximp's base. And they're not going to be able to do anything with a double cannon here. I don't think he needs to block his ramp or anything. Those Zerglings will probably see those cannons and run away. In the meantime, we see the cybernetics core and gas. First zealot is done. And the overlord's going to get a good scout of that. Alright, Zerglings are gathering up in front of the base. Third cannon is throwing down. And fourth cannon. That's a little bit excessive now. But Ximp is going to be safe. However, with that cannon, it looks like he's going to be blocking his ramp in the future. Perhaps that was a little bit too much. And Bakuryu has another overlord in the front to provide a little bit of detection. Alright, let's see what these players are going for next. A lot of gas from Ximp. And I'm guessing he's going to go for a goon pretty quick. No, just another zealot. So Bakuryu is droning up, getting lots of drones. He's got his lair, and a spire is on the way. Of course, with that spire, he's going to be able to get Mutalist and Scourge. And a 5th cannon, wow. That's a lot of cannons. Alright, and we have the Stargate. The Stargate will enable Ximp to get out some Corsairs. Probably won't get any scouts out, but Corsairs will help a lot with the Muta threat that could be coming now that Bakuryu is getting the spire. Bakuryu's been droning up pretty heavily. He's got his drone saturation up at all 3 bases. Ximp is getting his probes out continually, and pretty soon his natural is going to be pretty well saturated as well. In the meantime, he is getting a lot of gas. He's got 3 probes on that geyser, and 3 on the inside one as well. I wonder if he's planning on a little bit of tech-heavy play. Second Stargate. Okay. So perhaps this was the plan all along. Of course, Stargates do require a lot of gas to get out, as well as the units taking a lot more gas than most buildings. So perhaps that was what the plan was, and the reason for all the gas. Looks like he's got about 700 gas banked. He'll be able to use that to make a whole lot of whatever it is he's making. From Bakuryu, we have a 4th hatchery and Evo chamber at his natural, and hydrogen and 5th hatchery at his 3rd base. You'll notice that based on the positioning, they're making sort of a wall. That's going to be used so that he can put up some sunkens behind them, and any type of arm units will have trouble closing with the sunkens to do the maximum damage they can. Okay, this is getting a rather large amount of cannons here. So Ximp is definitely going to survive. But of course, you know, the more cannons he adds on, the less cost efficient they are. Of course, cannons can't move. So this is a significant investment for him. 3rd Stargate going down, but no units out of those Stargates. I'd like to see some Corsairs, because as we know, the Spire is completed, and it looks like he's getting the Air Carapace, so Bakuryu could be going for an air army. And we haven't seen much of an army out for Ximp. And as you can see, I mean, his natural is heavily fortified with all these cannons. And another cannon, a couple more. Looks like he's got about 14 cannons there. And now he's getting 2 in the main. 4th Stargate out for Ximp. But none of them are building anything. So if I could give a little bit of advice to Ximp, you should only be making production facilities that you intend to be using. Of course, because there is a rather high cost to get out these structures. So, alright, we have carriers building at 2 of these Stargates. And with the other carriers that I assume will be coming out soon, he will be able to use his gas. And with the number of cannons he's got at the front of his base, I would say he's not going to be under too much of a risk of being broken for a while. That being said, he is possibly falling behind. Bakuryu has gone up to 4 bases now, and he's getting an additional 3 hatcheries at the upper right position. So it looks like he's opted for Hydralisks. Hydralisks are a good all-around Zerg unit. They can fight pretty cost-effectively versus cannons, and they can also fire on air units as well, so that these carriers, carriers are expensive units. They're very powerful units, but the Hydras will be able to fight them. And And with the number of hatcheries and bases that Bakuryu has, I think he's going to have plenty of resources to take them on. Alright, Hydros are grouping up outside the natural expansion. Got Overlords with speed. Actually, we got 4 Overlords here. And here they're going for the break. We need those Zealots and Goons in the main to go out and help the cannons. And as you can see, there were plenty of cannons, but unfortunately it's been so long that the Hydra army that's built up has been rather significant. So they are breaking through. Alright, so the cannons are... sorry, the carriers are now been revealed. They're going to be attacking the Hydra. Uh-oh, that Goon needs to A-move. Currently he's just on the move command, which will change his position, but he won't fire on enemy units when he sees them. And the Hydras are continuing to stream across the map. Looks like all the probes in the natural have been emptied, and these carriers, they're... unfortunately, there's so many Hydros that they've picked off the interceptors, and the carriers are unable to attack. So we've still got a fairly decent army for Ximp in the middle of his main. He probably should pull that army out to the natural, or at least to his ramp to help defend. Alright. Carriers are now getting picked off. They still don't have the interceptors they need to fight, and with these Scourge are going to make short work of the carriers. And that's game. So good game from Ximp. He went for a more macroeconomic focus that I haven't seen from any of the other AIs. And let's see what he can do in game number 2. See you there. This is TheEnder, signing off.